Sorry. Good afternoon. Okay, let's. I will wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. Let me see whoever will join the class. Is one person. Yeah. Hi, Asim. Okay, Asim. Let's wait for 2 minutes. Okay. So we'll wait. Anybody is willing to join the class. Okay. If anybody will join the class, I will start the class in 2 minutes. In the meantime, you have any doubts regarding JSP or previous Java classes, you can ask me or you can just ping me in the chat box. Okay, then let me start the class. Okay, so I think yesterday in the previous classes also we have started. Second, let me share my screen. Yeah, I explained about what is a form and what is how we use the forms and why we use the forms. Okay, so I have just given some basic syntax in the yesterday's class and what are the important attributes we are used in that. Okay, and what is the futures of the what is the method. Okay, we use some methods here in the forms like a get and post. Okay, so what is a future and what is the importance of that future. Okay, I had explained already in the yesterday class. Okay, we have the two methods, which is nothing but get and post. One is for the data visibility and security. Okay, in the security wise and data visibility wise, the post is an a best one. When you want to bookmark any applications, okay, that get will be bookmarkable but not the post. Okay, so the use cases here, this is in a search. Okay, search, filter, links. Okay, in the case of login, registrations, and form submissions, you need to use the post. So data limits also in the get we have the data limit, but there is no data limit in the post. Now, as I as I said and we discussed, JSP is used for the creating the dynamic HTML content by embedding the Java on the server. Okay, so handling the form data and how to interact with the user, like a user interactions and navigation between the pages using the hyperlinks. As I explained and I showed you also, let me open my see here we use in our JSP. Okay, here we use the anchor links. Here we use the anchor links because we can call it as hyperlinks also. Okay, we call it as an hyperlinks, and we here the A will be an anchor tag. Okay, these are the hyperlinks. So for navigation between the pages using hyperlinks or the forms, by forms also we will navigate through one page to another page. Like see here, we will give the targeted JSP page where you want to send the data. So that is also one part of the navigations. So and we and now I think we need to discuss about the headers and footer files also. Like we have JSP include tag. Okay, so for code reusability. Okay, so for the headers here, the header is there, right? So in the header, whatever the code you want to write, you have to written in the one page, and that page can be included in several pages of your project. So that in that way you can like you can save your time by code reusing. Okay, so that for that we use the JSP include tag. And as I said, our project structure will be like with our project name. Inside the project name we have source, main, web app. Inside the web app we have the web INF. So whatever the web app we have, web content. Okay, so inside this we all place our templates and our files. Now as I explained navigations. Okay, uh see, here I explain I have used a hyperlinks, but this hyperlinks navigation is known as a static navigations. Okay, this is known as a static navigations, and here we use the form, right? So the form navigations we call those as a dynamic form navigation. So let me write it here. So when you use a hyperlink, then use the anchor tags, which is nothing but a hyperlink. Hyperlink for the navigations. The navigation is known as a static navigation. Okay, this is known as a static navigation. But when you use a form, okay, like form and action, here we give the targeted JSP page, right? Like become.jsp. This is another JSP file. Okay, we are giving the target to reach there. So it is known as a dynamic form navigation. Dynamic form navigation. So here we have two types of navigation, which is nothing but static navigations and the dynamic form navigation. Static navigations are when we use a hyperlinks for the navigation purpose, those known as a static navigations. But when you use a form navigations, form is nothing but in the form tag we use an action attribute, and in the action attribute we will give the targeted JSP page where you want to go to the next page. So this is known as a dynamic form navigations. Now, one second. Yesterday, yeah, I think I have taken one example here. Yeah, here, name and the age. Okay, so this is an HTML form. Whatever the form we are using, this is an HTML form. Let me run this once. Or let me show you. Let me run this. Okay, let me share this form to you. And okay, the screen is visible, right? So here we have done that. Okay, so here we have the form. Okay, that form is visible. Here see form handling. When I click the form handling, it is in the form exam.jsp file. is nothing but form example.jsp page. Here itself, enter name, enter age. So if you want to come after the next line, okay, after the box, you can use a break tag, which is in a basic tag we use to break that line. Okay, and refreshing. See here we get the, I'm using two breaks, so for space. Okay, so this is enter name, enter age. Now what happens actually in this form means when we use a form tag, okay, you know, everybody know, right? This form tag is used to create a form in the HTML. Okay, these are the two attributes, action and method. Here action will, what it will does means it will submit the data. Okay, it will submit the data when you click on the submit button in your form. Okay, this is a submit button, right? When you click on the send button, okay, when you click on the send button, that data will be sent to whatever the page it has targeted. So let me take your example as JSP form process. Okay, I'm taking the file name as a form process. So this is a form process. So from here form, okay, whatever the form we have, when the user enters the data and when you click on the send page, I need the destination page, right? Okay, targeted source page. So now here I'm giving address as a form process, from process.asp page. So when you click on the submit, the data will be sent to this page. Okay, whatever the data we have, that data will be sent to this page. So here the method we are using as a post, but post with the post will send the data. Okay, it uses a post method to send the data, but it will not visible in the URL. Okay, so when we use a get method, it will, the data whatever the user has entered, it will be appended to the URL. So but in the case of post, it will not append to any URLs. And here in the input tag, here we are given the name. Okay, so the name is in a key, it will send to JSP to retrieve the users. Okay, to retrieve the user's name, whatever the name he has entered in the input box. Okay, that name has to be retrieved. So for that reasons we use this name attribute, and here we have used a name equals to age, so that will send the data to the JSP to retrieve that user's age. Okay, so when a user enters the data, okay, so then that will send the process.jsp in the form date. Okay, so let me do see here. I'm taking Radha and 23. Okay, when I click on the submit data, I click on submit data, see that the form is not sending the data in the URL. Okay, it will send the data in the form data itself by using whatever the names we have given. Like let me see here. Here I given the name, first name as a, okay, first what I have given in the first input name itself. Okay, and in the second name I have given the name as an age. Okay, name as an age. When the user submit, okay, when the user clicks on submit button. Okay, when the user clicks on submit button, that post request, whatever the get and post method we have, that post request will send the data to the form process. Let me take, I have taken form process itself, right? See here we have form process. So form process, we will send the data to the form process.jsp page. Okay, how it will send the data in the form data? Okay, it will send the data as, here the name of the first name is name. Okay, so the name equals to Radha. I have given Radha, right? So Radha, and we have whatever the name we have, age. So here it will send the data as age equals to 23. So this is how it will send the data to this form process. Okay, to this form process. Then when we are in the form process.jsp page, we need to retrieve the data by using these names. Okay, here the name will be name. See, let me take it as a student name. Okay, it makes a bit confusing. Okay, student name. So here that will be student name equals to Radha. It will send the data like this. Okay, whatever the names you have used in this form, okay, whatever the names you have used in this forms, that std name. Okay, so this student name, okay, this student name will be, this student name will be that name. It will integrate with that whatever the data it has entered, and by using this name we can retrieve the data. Okay, we can retrieve the data. Okay, so like see in the server side, what is actually happens means like form process, right? Form process dot JSP page. Now here it will send the data. Okay, here whatever the data is there, it will be sent like this. So now what we need to do is here in the form process, when you see this is also basic important one. Okay, in the form process, this is an HTML and JSP page. Okay, in the JSP page we are using HTML. So okay, so when you want to include the Java code in the HTML, when you want to include the Java code in the HTML, you need to use the scriptlet tags. Okay, so you need to use the scriptlet tags less than and percentile greater than symbol. So inside this scriptlet tags, you can use the Java. Okay, you can use the Java. Now for whatever the data, the form exam.jsp page is sending the data, student name in the name of student name and in the name of age. Okay, so that has to be retrieved in this date, in this file. Now whatever the string name, okay, I'm just taking one string, okay, string variable name, and I want to retrieve the data. When you want to retrieve the data, you have to use the request module. Okay, request dot, okay, get parameter, request dot get parameter. So inside this get parameter, you need to give the name of that particular parameter, which is nothing but here. What is the name of that parameter? Std name. Okay, which is nothing but student name and semicolon. Okay. Now what we have? We have the age, string age equals to, okay, same as a request model. In the request model we have a method name as a request dot get parameter. So inside this we need to give the whatever the name we have used for that input box, okay, age, so that we have to use it here. Okay, age. So this is how we retrieve the data from one page. Okay, that page will send the data to this targeted page, and here we will retrieve the data by using this parameters. Okay, using this parameters. Now you can process this data, and you can also print the data to the user. You can also print this data to the user. How? See, in when you are writing anything outside of the scriptlet tags, that means it is an HTML. So this is a basic. I'm just taking one tag. Okay, so inside here I have, let me take the h3 tag. So you know, right, header tags we have 6, h1, h2, h3, h4. Okay, it's based on the size. We can choose whatever the header tag you want to use. Okay, heading tags, hello. Now I also explained about you the different types of tags we use in this JSP page. Let me show you that. See here we have the directives tags. So you can see in our Eclipse, yeah, here. See here we have the directive tags, scripted at the rate of page. Okay, here what we are doing, we can import the data also. Okay, you can import the Java SQL classes here. You can use the keyboard name as input, and you can use the some Java dot util dot, okay, util dot everything, or you can use util dot io. Okay, so whatever the packages you want to import in this program, you can you can import that by using this directive tags. Okay, and what we have another tags, we have the scriptlet tags. So the scriptlet tags is used for to run the Java code. Okay, to run the Java code. Here we have the expression tags, which means it will directly print the value in the HTML. So here, whatever the name the user has entered, I want to print that in the HTML. So for that, we need to use the, okay, we need to use a expression tags, which is nothing but same as a, which is nothing but same as in a scriptlet, but we have to use an equal symbol so that it makes as an expression. So here what I am saying is hello, and I want to give the student name, which is stored in the name variable. Okay, which is stored in the name variable. I'm giving that name here. Okay, hello, whatever the student name is given. Hello, you are, and I want to tell him the age. Okay, you are like certain age years old. So now what we need to do? So here what we need to do means you are same expression tag, and we need to give the age of a particular person whatever he has entered. Okay, and years old. Okay, and let me save this. Okay, let me save this. See, I'm explaining you once again. See this here how we can create the web form is by using the web form. Okay, web tags, and inside the form, okay, we need to use the two attributes which are important: action and method. Okay, in the method we also have the get and post method. So get will be used for mostly searching and filtering, because the data security is less in the get method when you compare with the post method. Okay, in the post it will not append any data to the URL, but in the get method it will append the data to that particular URL. Okay, so here inside this we are different tags. Okay, like input tags and text data tags. Okay, so in the input tags itself we have the different types. Okay, so text, number. When you see, let me clear this out. And when I on equals to, see here we have a lot of different types of input tags. Okay, so we can use the different types of tags based on whatever the input you need from a user. Okay, you can use in a different types of tags. Okay, when after user has entered the data, whatever the data you want to enter, and after that when you click on the send button, here we have given the value as a send, so it giving this as a send. See, as a send. But when you want to change that to the submit, okay, when you want to change that to the submit, save it and refresh it, see it giving you the submit. So it is your wish, you want to use any value, you can use it in the but in the type of submit. Okay, so this happens when you click on the submit, so that whatever the action page address is there in the action attribute, we have the form process.jsp. So that means whatever the user has sent the data, when we click on the submit button, the data has to be sent to that form process.jsp page using the form data, like which is nothing but a post request. So whatever the names they have used in the input tags, with that names the data will be sent to the form process.jsp. So this is another page. So here we are navigating from one page to another page with a dynamic navigations. Okay, this is known as a dynamic navigation. But when the case you are using the hyperlinks, that is a static navigations. So now here we need to retrieve the data. Okay, the form will send the data to this page. But what we need to do, we need to catch the data and we need to store that in some variables in our files. Okay, so now here by using the request module, request.get parameter, and whatever the name we have given to that input, I'm giving here in the get parameter brackets. So now here by using request.get parameter, the name will be stored in this string variable, which is nothing but name. Okay, this is nothing but name, and we have another module request.get parameter, that is an age. Okay, now the age will be stored in this age variable. So now what I want to do, I want to print it out whatever the users are entering in the form data. So I am using the expression tags to display the names of that particular user. So here the expression tag will directly print the value in that HTML. So yeah, hello, whatever the name, you are particular age, years old. Okay, so let me run this program and see it's working fine. Let me refresh this first. Okay, now let me write any name, now Raj, a name. Okay, so here I'm entering this age of the person like 24 and submit. See, when I click on a submit button, it has moved to the form process.jsp page. Here you can see the form process.jsp name. This is a name targeted page, right? So here it printing me the hello Nagaraj Kanne, you are 24 years old. So whatever the age and the data I have entered in the input, that will okay, that is displaying in this page. Okay, that is replaying in this page. So by using the string names and like a request.get parameters, you need to retrieve the data. So here the request.get parameter of the name, it will retrieves whatever the user data has entered in this form input. Like see, where is that form process? See, form process. Here we have taken the request.get parameter of that particular stand name. Okay, student name. So in the form exam, whatever the data was there, it will retrieve that data from that form input. So based on the request.get parameter name itself, the data will be retrieved from that form input. Okay, so display that data in the HTML. Here we are using the expression tags. Okay, here we are using the expression tags. So the request.get parameter and that input name. Let me comment out here. Okay, and why we need this? Yeah. So here, whatever the date request dot we write it as like this: request dot get parameter and input tag, whatever the name you have given, that name has to be included in this. Okay, request dot get parameter dot input name, so that it will retrieve the values sent via form. Okay, in the form will send the data, right? So in with the name, okay, with the name, so that data will be retrieved. So let me write it out in the notepad itself also. Okay, then do the name here. So now in the form process, what it will done is request dot get parameter of input name. Whatever the input name you have given, that name has to be okay. That name has to be given in this. So it will retrieve the values. Okay, sent via form. The data will be sent via form itself, right? Form data. So here we have the name student name. So we have to use that student input name to get the value of a Radha. Okay. To get the value of the Radha, we have to use an input name. Okay. Here we have given the name of that input as a student name. So here the form will send the data with that name itself. So we need to give the input name here so that we can retrieve the values which are sent via form. Okay, so the name attribute in the input tag is used to match and retrieve the data. The name attribute is a very important, okay, in the input tags, because when you want to retrieve that particular data by using that name itself, we are retrieving the data. Okay, so the form handling is like uh, what we can say, like it is a bridge between the whatever the front end and the back end logics. Okay, the server logics, and for the front end logics, the form handling is like a, it will act as a bridge. Okay, so this is an important topic, so that I am just explaining in very details. Okay, because in our project, in our main project, we use most of the forms to take the data, or to take any inputs, or to submit, or to add any data. Okay, we use the forms. Okay, so but see, when you are using the forms, the post isn't a safest and preferred for the sensitive informations. So don't use a get in the form handling. You have to use a post. Now, as I explained it, okay, for a real case also, get versus post. For a data will not appended in the URL, post will also not appended, but in the get case, it will append that data. Okay, let me see here with the get. Okay, see here inside this, I am giving the get method. Okay, get method, and save this, and let me save this form process also, and let me see. Let me go here back, and I'm refreshing it. Okay, and refresh it, and now I will give the new name and the age of that person. And now age of the person. See, I think all of you observed here, I have changed the method to from post to get. Okay, so what it has to happen now? It has to append the data whatever I'm giving in this link. Okay, so when I click on the submit button, see printing me, hello Badrinath, you are 35 years old. Okay, printing me working fines. But here you can observe in the link, it will sending the data with the student, like input name, whatever the input name we are giving, that name is here, and it will appending the name of that student name Badrinath and the age of that person in the URL. So for these purposes, we are not using for sensitive informations. It will append the data. So we have to use a post itself. And the use cases, as I explained, search, filters in the get. Okay. So when you get to know, right, when you change the method, so it will how it affects the behavior. It will data will be passed through the URL parameters. And let me do one more example here, just one example. Let me create one more static navigation link here by using anchor links. What we can say as okay, addition, simple one, or what we can take is mm, can we check the age of a person, like age checker? Let me give the age. Okay, I will create a hyperlink for only age, and after the age here I'm giving age checker. So for this, to check the age, okay, to take the input from a user, we need a one file, right? So I am creating one file here, new JSP file. Okay, and I am giving the JSP file name as age form. Okay, age form here. Now inside this, I have to take the input from the user. What we need to do, we need to create a form. Okay, in the HTML, how can we create a form? By using the form tags. Okay, by using the form tags. So form form. Now what are the main two attributes, which is nothing but one is an action method, action, and the method. So method has to be always post. Okay, not always, but when you are required, when you want to take form validations, right, then you need to take the method as a post. Now what you want to take the data of the user's age to check whether he is able to vote or he is eligible to vote or not. Okay, so first what we need to do, we need to give the name for that input. So I am using the label. So label, and I'm giving enter age. Okay, enter age. So after this, I want to take the input tag, right? I'm giving the type as a number. Okay, type as a number because we are taking the age, so I'm given the type as a number, and the name for the tag is age. Okay, and the name for the tag is age. Okay, so this is a input tag. I'm just using the break symbols to get the space between inputs. Okay, now I am taking another input and taking for the type equals to submit. Okay, to get the submit button, I'm using the input type equals to value, and inside this value I'm giving the string as a check. Okay, string as a check. So let me save this. And where is that page? Yeah, here. Going back, this is an Indeed page, right? Where is that Indeed page? See, let me refresh it here. Okay, so when I okay, I didn't save the indeed.jsp page. That is not refreshing it. See here, it giving a age checker, but it's not giving a hyperlink, and it is coming in the same line. So let me take one break here. So it will display in the second line. So here it's showing an age checker, but it's not giving any hyperlinks because here we didn't use any H references attribute. So we need to give the targeted source for the age checker, which is nothing but age form, right? So so here I'm giving a age form dot JSP. Okay, I've given the address. Now let me refresh it here. See here it acting as a hyperlink. So when I click it on, see it is coming to the age form dot JSP page. Now it asking me enter your age. Okay, enter the age. So here when I enter at the 24 and submit, it has to go to second page. But we didn't given any targeted page in the age form dot JSP page. See here we didn't give any form. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to take the data of that age and we need to check whether that age is above 18 or equals to 18 or not equals to 18 or less than 18. Okay, based on that conditions, we need to reply to that user as we are eligible to vote or you are not eligible to vote. Okay, so here I am giving the targeted JSP page as age check. Okay, age check dot JSP page. Okay, so now what we need to do when you directly run this, okay, it will give you error because the age check dot JSP page is not present in this web app. So you need to create a web app new JSP file agecheck.jsp page. Finish. So this is the page. So when you have entered the data in this form.jsp page, it will go to the agecheck.jsp page. Here, what we need to do, we need to write the JDBC code, which is nothing but request.get parameter. So to write that, we need to use the scriptlet tags. Okay, just listen carefully. Okay, so now that age will be in the number format. Okay, that age will be, we have to store it in the number format. But when we use the forms and when we click this send the data, it will send the data in the form data. So whatever the data it will send, it will be in the string format itself. So we need to typecast that from string to the integer. So I'm taking integer age equals to. So basically, we need to take the data as a by using request dot, okay, request dot get the parameter of whatever the name we have given in the age form for the input, which is nothing but age. So age. So this is an actual way to get the retrieve the data. But here we are passing that data to the integer. So here we need to use the wrapper class. Okay. So typecasting integer dot parse end of request dot get parameter. So in this case, whatever the data it has written, okay, that will be converted into the integer form. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to check whether this age is greater than or equals to 18 or not. So here, what I have to do, if okay, if whatever the age is there, which is greater than or equals to 18 or not, okay, 18 or not. This is one. And if it is not greater than or equals to, so it has to execute the else part. So in the else part, we need to send the data you are eligible or you are not eligible. Okay, so inside the Java code, when you want to write the HTML code, you need to close the scriptlet tags. Okay, so here the scriptlet tag is started, and here you need to write the HTML tag. HTML tags. Okay, so in that case, you need to close that scriptlet tags. Now here, from here to here, it will consider as a Java space. Okay, from here to here, it will consider as a Java space. And after that scriptlet tags, okay, we also return the Java code. So in which tags we need to write the Java code? In the scriptlet tags. So take the scriptlet tags. Okay, so now here it has started and it has ended it here. So inside this, we need to write the Java code. But outside the scriptlet tags, which means here, outside this is ending of the scriptlet tag and this is starting of the scriptlet tag. So this is an area of to write the HTML code. So here, I'm taking H3, okay, I'm taking H3 and I'm saying you are eligible, okay, you are eligible to vote, you are eligible to the vote. Same, when in the else condition, you need to give the message as you're not eligible to vote. But see here, this is in a Java code. Inside this, when you want to write the HTML code, as I explained in the top, okay, so you need to end that scriptlet tag. You need to enter that scriptlet tag. Whatever we have open it here, we need to close it here. And after that, this flower bracket is also comes under Java code. So you need to open that scriptlet tag again. Okay. So in between these two scriptlet tags, you can write, okay, you can give the three, you are not eligible to vote. You are not eligible to vote. Okay. So let me run this or let me refresh it here itself. Okay. So let me refresh it. I refreshed and I'm entering the age once. Let me check with the 16 age. Okay, check and it checked and it's okay. It's checking. You're not eligible to vote. Okay, and let me refresh this again, and let me give the 23. Okay, it will take the data and we send the data and we check you are eligible to vote. Okay, this is how we will navigate through the dynamic navigations and the form submissions. This is how we need to take the data of the user from the user. Okay, you also try some examples like rating based on of a time of the day. Okay, like ask him to enter his name, and when he click on submit button and give the value for the submit button as greet me. Okay, when you click on the greet me, we need to take the data. Okay, we need to take the data, and based on the current time, you need to say good morning or good afternoon. Okay, so we have some classes, okay, in the Java, like java.util. So in that util we have the calendar module, okay, calendar package. So from that you can use a time of the current instance. So if you are not aware of that, I will explain that example in the tomorrow's class. Okay, and you can try like a basic login form, or you can try it with the addition, subtraction, multiplications. Okay, so ask him to enter any two numbers or three numbers, and ask him to add or subtract or multiplications, whatever. Okay, whatever the small programs were done in the Java, you can do it in the form handlings also. Okay, this is for today's class. Okay, form handlings, and in the tomorrow's class I will explain how we can import the Java classes and how we can use the Java classes and place that with an HTML outputs. Okay, so yeah, let me stop this, and yeah, this is about today's class. And if you have any doubts regarding anything of the previous classes or anything, you can ask me, or you can just ping me in the WhatsApp. Thank you.